it's that time of the year, you know, like we want to have that true comfort food. You know, it's cool outside. You know, we're going to break it back and take it back to our tradition, right? But we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and make a meatloaf. This is going to be a Creole meatloaf. And I promise you guys, you're going to love the topping, which will be the glaze that I'm going to put on top of that. Now, with that being said, let's jump right into these ingredients, right? I'm going to start over here on this side. You see this right here? These are two different hot sauces. You guys use the hot sauce that you like. You know what I mean? I always keep this here. This is like my show bottle, right? I don't never open this. And then I got, you know, some in the back. And then right here, this is that Sweet Smoky Joe hot sauce. This right here has become like more of a favorite for myself. You guys, if you don't have it, pick some of this up and let me know what you think. Now over here, we got beef. We got some assorted things that you guys should be familiar with. But I'm gonna tell you the real thing is this right here. You know how we always using breadcrumbs? Now stay with me. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this over here like this. Instead of using the breadcrumbs or something like panko, you know, crumbs, look, we using cornbread. Now, don't forget, all of my ingredients with the measurements and everything is on my website. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. Hey, you know what? How did I talk without saying nothing about this andouille sausage, right? Don't forget, man, whenever I'm using andouille sausage, I always do the chicken andouille. I love the Hoffy brand, and if you guys come in here and look right there, you see that orange right there? That's that $1 million. With that being said, let's go. Okay, as always, right? We got to preheat, right? So we hit bake. We're going to go with 350, right? We started. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my andouille over here because we're going to do something a little different than we normally do, right? What we're going to do is we're going to finely chop these, right? So let me go in here and get this down. Whew, love having a decent knife, folks. You notice like when you got sausages, it always got that little curve to it. So when I cut it, start right here, say it's bent like that, that's no problem for me. What I do is I just bring it like this, bring it down, and boom. I actually could have cut these down a little bit more, but these got to be fine, right? It don't have to be, but it'll be that way when we mix everything inside, because this is going to play a major part in it. All right, so we only need about a half a cup of this. It's almost like you want to end up with something like a little bit ground, but not, right? So that's why I'm cutting these super thin. If you get pieces like that, obviously, I just said fine. That's not fine, right? So I don't care how this is, but I just want to show you something. You can always just take your knife, keep your point down this way, keep your hand down, and just bring this over like this. Just raise your arm up just a little bit, right? And you can see it starting to become a little bit on the fine side, right? It's really like almost, we getting down to a mince. I don't want it to be minced, but this right here, I can live with. We only need about a half a cup. Oh, we might be right on the money, right? Oh yeah, we on the money. This is what you want to have right there. Now, some of you guys this might look familiar. I can't even remember what video. I've been making so many videos lately. You know what I mean? This is my bell pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off of here now, right? Bring this around. Let's see if I can cut that out of there and just do that. I'm gonna go ahead and discard this. See all these seeds? Unless we're getting ready to grow our own, we just discard those, right? So now we go ahead and dice these. Let me get these cleaned up. I get rid of that little webbing. You guys do whatever you want to do. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I wasn't making this video, just being real, you know what I mean? When I'm cooking, especially when I'm at home, all of this goes in there. I don't discard nothing. To me, all of this is flavor. You know, a lot of people tell me that this little web part right here is a little bitter, but I never noticed it. All right, so look, now we're gonna cut this down. We only need like a half a cup. No need to like just overdo it. We don't need no big ones. We're gonna cut these down because we want a whole lot of flavor, right? Let's just see how much we have here. Now, I only got one of those measuring cups, right? So what I'll do is, we're going to put this in a bowl anyway. This is my half a cup of andouille. Now we take this and just add it here. So I see where I'm at here. Now I'll go in here and just add one more. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and prep this onion, right? So let me just make myself a few, cuts here. Be careful, folks, when you're doing this. If you got a sharp blade, it can like slip, right? And then I take it and I just cut them down like this. All right, then when you turn it out this way, then all you gotta do is just make your cuts down this way. All right, now we just go ahead and add this over here. You guys see where we're going. It still got that same old, feel and what you guys know when you're making meatloaf, right? this is how we looking. You see that right there? We got onion, bell pepper, we got the andouille. This is all set up and ready to work with, right? Now, notice how I put all of these ingredients right here. I put these here because this is everything I'm gonna need to go ahead and put in here also, right? This right here is a true level up. Again, instead of using like panko crumbs and all that kind of stuff, if you guys want to go ahead and just make your cornbread, I mean, you're gonna eat it anyway. Just save yourself a slice enough to get yourself like a half a cup. So when you get it, that way you can just like cut yourself out enough to get you, like I said, a half a cup, and then, cover up the rest and eat it with something else, right? But you want it to be day old. You want it to be dry, right? So this is really, truly a level up, right? And then over here, I don't bring this over here because I'm running out of room. Obviously, we got to have our meat. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start getting this together. Okay, so we got our meat. This is our ground beef. You get to looking sorry when you just be having it out, Then we got our pork. Drop that in there, right? And then we got these seasonings and everything, our breadcrumbs, our garlic cloves, and everything that's gonna go in here too, right? So this is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm gonna sprinkle this in here like this. It's gonna be the binder that's gonna hold it all together, right? This right here, this that bacon sea salt. Let me bring this back into play. You guys have been buying this. It's been moving off of the shelf. I know when I look at the comments and what you guys are talking about, this bacon sea salt is a game changer, folks. We'll go ahead and add a little bit here. I'm gonna add just a little bit, and I'm gonna wait and add the rest. These right here, I just dump and go, really. All right, we gotta have a little milk, right? Okay, so now get yourself a bowl. You wanna whisk your eggs, and get them going. Right now, I didn't add no black pepper to it. You guys can add the black pepper here, or you can add it over there. It doesn't matter. If you ask me, my preference would be to add it here, right? So take some black pepper, grind some here, and I can see just about how much I'm getting in here. All right, now we whisk. Then we just add it in the inside. You just want to make sure that egg is completely, dissolved. Like right there, that's good. You don't need all that hair in there like that. This is just part of the binder that keeps the meatloaf together. We just add it in there like that. Next, my garlic, right? We just put it, I kind of like put it everywhere, right? And then anything that didn't, get pressed, this is what I like. This way you get maximum, garlic clove. All right, now we get in here, now we got to work with our hands, right? So we got our pork. What I'm doing is breaking this pork up, just making it a little bit smaller. Now we just want to get in here. You don't want to overwork this, folks. Otherwise, it'll become nice and dense. So just think about like how when we baking, you kind of like just folding. You just bring it over like this. I just keep doing that until I can see it. Then we put all the seasonings and everything on top too. So you can see what has been seasoned, how it's been blended, and things of that nature, right? Because I can see that pork. Right, so we just keep folding it over just like this. And remember, I saved a little bit of the bacon sea salt back. Now I add a little bit more to it. Not a little bit more, just a remainder. This will ensure that if you didn't mix it properly, you don't get no one spot that is like super salty. You know what I mean? But it won't be super salty. It'd be more bacon side. But look at this here. I'm almost about done. All right, so obviously meatloaf, we like to have that shape, right? A lot of you guys use, when you're doing a meatloaf, you use one of these loaf pans. I'm gonna show you when you use something like this, this is a true meatloaf pan, right? So seeing how we use an 80-20, when you put it in here, it's a little bit off at the bottom. I don't know if I can get this to work. Anyway, it hangs off at the bottom just a little bit. It allows all of the fat and everything to render down. Then when you pull it up like this, boom, it keeps all of that in there. I'm gonna start by using this one, right? So what we wanna do is we wanna form it and then drop this in here. Right, but the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a little bit of help, right? So look, you just wanna lightly cover it, right? And now we just add it to it. All right, so you see I put it in here. This the part, you don't wanna like just densely pack this in here like this, right? You wanna just stay moist, or you don't wanna just add it and just pack it down. You guys can build that mound in the front if that's what you want to. You can rub your finger across the sides, like you'll see me do it in just 1 second. Now what I mean is you can take your finger right here and make yourself like a little galley. And then it helps you like work with the corners too. And if you see anything that need to be, leveled out, go ahead and do it. And then you want to have something to look just like that. Hey, I bet you guys didn't know it was just this easy to make it. For those of y'all that haven't made it, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we go out, we get it, We order it out. You know what I mean? This is so easy. You can make 40 of these in just a minute. All right, so we're gonna set a timer. I'm gonna go 50 minutes. That's usually the way, we get down with that. 50 minutes, we're gonna check it. And how we check it, we're gonna do the toothpick check. Hey, I'll see you in a minute. All right, so this is what we did. We went ahead and, took it out. I checked it already, but I just want to show you. We check it just like we do a cake, right? We take that, and then you guys look at that. Let me just do it like this so you guys can come in and take a look. You can see just how clean it is. I'll go ahead and hit it over here. You know what I mean? It got just a very little resistance, to it. Oh, yeah. Again, you guys can see, and then we good there. And you know what? I use it as a probe test just to check. This gives me that insurance that I didn't overwork it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this. Now you only should have 3 ingredients left over at the end. When you have these right here, look, I'm gonna get my burner. We're gonna go ahead and cook those a little bit. Now you don't have to, it's up to you, right? But for me, I wanna go ahead and just, simmer it down just a little bit, get this, brown sugar to melt, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just coat that. That's why you guys gonna need one of these. So even before I do that, I just want to show you, I have this, because we got a couple of options, right? This for you guys that just only want to coat the top. You looking for something pretty that'll be in, one of these meatloaf pans, then that's up to you. But for me, I want to have my sauce all the way on the side, right? So if you see, I got myself a small baking sheet, cooling rack. It just fits over the top, right? So I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. Take it. I'm going to show you what it looked like in the inside. Right now, we sprayed this. I'm gonna go ahead and take my thumb like this, my 2 thumbs, and I'm just gonna slide it out. And look at that right there. That's it. Now I want to show you all of the fat that rendered down in there. You see all that down there? We done gotten rid of all of that. All right, so now let's go ahead and get a flame underneath the bottom here. I'm gonna put a medium, flame under there, right? You wanna make sure you got yourself a small spatula or anything you can get in there, so that you can get all of your ketchup out of here clean. So we'll start moving this around. Let it get some heat. Once it get ready to start to loosen up, right? That'll help it too. That's the W sauce. Now look, as you can see, if you look down in here, once you see it just start to boil, I don't know if you guys are catching the, the steam vapor that's coming up off of this. You know what I mean? Once it starts to boil, that's when I turn my fire off. I drop my brown sugar in the inside, and I just stir it until it completely melts. All right, so look, you guys can see it's boiling. Right, turn my fire off, go with my brown sugar, get this in here, nice, soft, and moist. Right, now we just let the residual heat, let it melt. Now, one of the things that we like about, having meatloaf is the fact that it is really, truly, I'm gonna just say that's sweet and savory at its best. This right here, we good here. Now, this is for all of my people that like to have a little bit of spice, right? So again, I got Sweet Smoky Joe's. Look, this right here has been my favorite, like a fan favorite for myself. Most of you guys like this right here. That's why I put it out here. You guys use whatever you like, and you're only gonna need just like a couple of little dashes, right? So 1, 2, that's enough right there, right? Just enough to give it a little bit of and that's it. I know some of you, hot sauce lovers, y'all finna get down there and make it super spicy. You know what I mean? But for me, I go with that. Now, the rest of it is self-explanatory, folks. Now we just go ahead and add this on top. Now I go a little bit thick on the top, right? I put 1 coat, I'm gonna coat these sides. That's why we put this in here. Let's get some around here like this. You guys already know, man, it smells good. All right, so here we go. I got it. Look, this is how it should look. We're gonna put this in the oven. We still at 350, right? Now we just stick this in here like this. And we're just gonna go for about 15 minutes. That's all, folks. We just wanna get that to set right on the top. So this is what it should look like once it's, been baked on there. Look at that. Nice and solid. You know what I mean? Now, listen, we don't wanna cut it because we don't want it to like fall apart, right? So we're gonna let this rest. I'm gonna say we're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and take a look at it. All right, look, I already cut this first slice right here. I was almost getting ready to cut this down when someone said to me, I like mine a little bit. Yeah, about that right there. They said, hey, AB, don't forget, you ain't, video recorded the slices, right? But as you guys can see right there, look, I'm rubbing it real gently under the bottom because I don't want to dull my knife, right? So if we take this out like this, look at that. That right there. Now I want you guys to think about this. What about them sandwiches, though? All right, so there's nothing else really left to do but to go ahead and hit it. I done tasted these mashed potatoes, and boy, can I pat myself on the back. Right? Look, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of that. Something like that. And we're gonna get it like this, right? What you guys see, the green, that's just a little bit of that parsley on there, right? Because the presentation is just oh so right. Now for you guys, you know what I mean? I love to make stuff like this, you know what I mean? Warms up the heart. This is something that we probably grew up with, but sure I did. Man, we probably had this, man. Seemed like we was having this twice a week. This is my mama like go-to. But this is spaghetti. Now, with that being said, I'm not gonna ramble anymore. I'm gonna let y'all get one more look at that. Oh, look at that. You see that sauce? That's to die for, y'all. Cheers. Woohoo. Man, that's moist. Ooh, my goodness. You guys gonna love this one. Now, you wanna talk about having a little twist? When we put that Cajun / Creole, that Southern, that deep Southern, you know, taste to it, this has it. Now, you guys saw that I used Creole kick. That leveled it up a little bit. And then when it comes to the, I almost want to call it the icing, just the sauce, look at that on the top of there right there. You know what I mean? That right there is done right. I suggest you guys go ahead and make it twice, you know, double the recipe. You know why? Because you might want to have some so that when you hit it, you can go ahead and dip you some on there also. Hey, super over the top. I'm eager to hear what you guys think about this one right here. Listen, I know I use Cajun Creole all the time, but you take this one right here and let me know that this one just shoots your regular, you know, meatloaf. Now, with that being said, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. I'm finna take this with me, folks, because I'm starving. I'm out, y'all. Peace.